This is Movies, a podcast about the act of cinema. And with me today, very, very excited, for real this time, guys. He's excited to talk about this Flintstones movie, On the Rocks. It's very hard to track down. It's Hans.
Is it hard to track down? Because I found it with like a quick Google search.
Well, most people, I don't think they'd be able to watch this movie without having a good understanding of the internet and knowing that Turner Films is just very ashamed that this movie was ever aired because they aired it only one other time. It was never released on video or DVD. It's the next installment of our Cartoon Network movie series, The Flintstones on the Rocks, 2001. What a year. Very important year. It was voted the most important year of the 21st century in a poll by Pericles or somebody like that on Twitter.
Because of 9/11, right?
Well, yeah.
Why were they ashamed of it? I thought it was funny.
I thought it was very funny. I mean, why not air it again then? Why not give it a full-on rollout home media video release? They didn't do that.
Yeah, I was looking that up because I remember they said it was really difficult to find because they never released it or re-aired it. But I didn't really find anything egregious or that offensive that you could say, well, you shouldn't be releasing this. I thought it was, what you expect from a I guess more adult themed Flintstones movie, an hour movie, 60-minute movie.
We started to talk about the Flintstones on the last episode and how it was originally a nighttime show for adults, and you said the first two seasons were more geared towards adult audiences than anything that came afterward. Surely their crossover episode or movie with the Jetsons is not heavy on adult themes. I'm sure Fred isn't fucking Mr. Jetson's wife.
Yeah, Elroy.
No, not Elroy. Fred is fucking Elroy. That's the theme of the crossover.
Astro.
No wonder why they never aired it.
Yeah, Astro's licking him. They used to advertise Winston cigarettes, the Flintstones.
They did, but listen, back in the day, you were 6 years old and you were smoking. It was a great day if you saw like chimpanzees on the late night talk show having a smoke. Damn, we got to do a bang episode on Zippy the Chimp. I've looked into so much on Zippy the Chimp, and I told you to look into Zippy the Chimp.
I did,
and we never talked. Not once has Zippy the Chimp ever come up on Bang.
Yeah. Well, we've done like 2 episodes, so there's
no, we haven't. We're on episode 6 coming up.
Oh, well, we've done like 6 episodes. So it just hasn't come up. Chippy,
getting me stressed out. I'm trying to think. Like, I can't plan for the Zippy the Chimp episode and have it be this natural, fluid thing now, like it was when I was thinking episode 1, Zippy the Chimp.
Is there because all I was able to find was just a 3-minute Spanish narrated documentary about him, about the monkey, and that's it.
Well, here's the big plot twist with Zippy the Chimp. There's multiple hymns.
Oh no.
That's all I'll say for now. You're gonna have to subscribe to Bang Bang on Spotify and give us a 5-star rating. We do have 1 so far, but Spotify has like a pretty good system. I'll be honest with you. I don't dislike it. They make you listen to a certain percentage of whatever has been uploaded before you can leave a rating or review of the show. So I think you have to listen to about 3 episodes before you can give us 5 stars. So go ahead and do that. A lot of people have been saying it's the best new podcast of 2023. Who said that? Monkey Jones.
Yeah. He said it.
I think he insinuated it in a podcast.
And he's like, it's better than anything I do, he said. And then he said it's better than Cumtown.
They've all said that, which has been dead.
Yeah. Do you know that the Flintstones also advertise Busch beer? I just found.
Can we watch one of these?
Yeah.
We're probably going to get hit with copyright, but fuck it. Who cares?
Busch does it. You can't say beer better than Busch.
Busch.
Damn, I love all mid-20th century advertising.
Boy, ain't that the truth. How can they mess with that target advertising? Yabba-dabba-doo. Right on target, Fred. When you're due for a beer, Busch does it. Oh, there's a lot of bush gonna be sold. Beginning
This would
right
be better if
now.
he was giving
Fill her
Wilma
up, friend.
attitude. Where he's
Is it
just
You
fucking
ready?
screaming at Wilma.
Quitting
is
time
this
on
double
schedule.
entendre?
Yeah, the
Because they
ads
say
are wet
bush a
rushing
lot.
start now, and Claudius and back end. Here they come.
Some pervy animator was probably thinking that.
I better get back there and help you, Fred.
Now that I listen to Barney in English,
You're next up.
which I can't remember if I've heard it
Another coffee,
before,
bartender.
the Baldwin guy wasn't that bad.
No, he wasn't. No, Stephen Baldwin was not a bad Barney.
Another bush, please. Here you are, sir. Fill her up, bartender. Yes, sir. Two more here, please.
You know, my big takeaway with the Flintstones movie that we watched for this episode is that Fred Flintstone's a fucking prick. What a
Yeah.
miserable jerk. Who would
Also,
want to be married to him? They really sold that well for the animated film.
he's dressed like Stephen Baldwin in
I
this
was just gonna
short
say that
too.
looks,
Look.
yeah, that does look a hell of a lot like
Well,
Stephen
get
Baldwin
ready.
in Viva
Come
Rock
very
Vegas.
good. Back on
Which,
the job in
would
the
you say that was
morning.
your number 6 movie of the year 1999?
Oh yeah.
When we
Yeah.
do our 1999 special, that's gonna be a real stunner when it comes up on both of our lists.
Yeah, it's right after Eyes Wide Shut and The Mummy.
I don't even think The Mummy was 99. I think that was 98.
Oh,
But you know, Latin
well.
America got it late.
Yeah, we got everything late.
The
We got
the original 1994, I think it was 94. Was it 93?
the original movie?
The Flintstones was the first movie I ever saw in theaters.
That was 94.
It was 94.
Yeah.
Okay. I was a very young boy. I have a vivid memory of being in the theater and going to see the Flintstones and wanting to see The Mask. I wanted to see The Mask. I tried to campaign for the whole group, the whole family to go see The Mask, which was probably not even out in theaters at the time. But I saw the trailer to it on the TV and I wanted to see it.
And what happened?
And we just went into the Flintstones. We watched the Flintstones. Why would they listen to
Wow.
me? I was like 3 years old at the time.
Oh, in 2000. Oh, in 94.
In
Right.
2004. I was
2004.
3 years old. I don't remember 9/11.
You know, the director of the Flintstones movie is the same director of A Christmas Story 2. There's your trivia
Hard
right
fall,
there.
hard fall. How did the actual live action Flintstones movie do at the box office?
That's a good question. Let's see, box office. 130 million in 94. That is very good.
I mean, well, what is the budget?
46 million.
Wow. Okay. Big hit.
And worldwide it made 341 million. So
That
was
is wild. Okay. And it took them 5 years to make a sequel with Stephen Baldwin and the guy from Still Standing. That's
Yeah.
what they did with that money. They didn't think, hey, let's take that and we'll put that into a live action Jetsons movie. We'll never get a live action Jetsons movie now. That time is gone. That time, that the 90s was the final heyday for all of those cartoons that were produced by Hanna-Barbera. Everything afterward is just shit. It went in the SpongeBob direction.
After the Jetsons, the Viva Rock Vegas made 60 with a budget of 83. So they spent more money on the sequel than the original, and it made about a fifth. Yeah.
Not good. So, do you have any fondness for the Flintstones as a family?
As a family? You mean like if I wanted for Fred to do good? And no, I like I would just I think I was more aware of the Jetsons than the Flintstones growing up. Even though I did watch it, I don't really remember much of it other than, dinosaurs are appliances. That's cool. Little things like that. It wasn't something that I would watch like the Cartoon Network ones that we were talking about before. I did watch a lot of Hanna-Barbera stuff, like Wacky Races was a big one, as I've mentioned before.
Did they ever do a Wacky Races movie?
I doubt it. Maybe, probably. They did a lot of those things for like Top Cat and what was the Pink Panther? That wasn't the Pink Panther. That was kind
Pink
of
Panther. There was
fancy.
Pink Panther.
No.
Oh,
I mean
you're talking about the cat.
Yeah. Well, they did
like Charlton the cat. He was very popular. I just quickly looked up the animated films of the Flintstones, excuse me, and it says here theatrical animated features that are adaptations of the Flintstones. And the first one is The Man Called Flintstone from 1966, released by Columbia Pictures. Did you ever see The Man Called Flintstone? I remember they played this on Cartoon Network a couple of times, but I had never watched it. The second one is Space Jam: A New Legacy.
The what?
That's
Fred Flintstone?
technically the second theatrical animated feature film of the Flintstones because the Flintstones, the Rubbles, the Great Gazoo, a purple Bronto crane, and a blue Bronto crane make cameos watching the basketball game between the Toon Squad and the Goon Squad. And as everybody here knows, Hans rooted for the Goon Squad.
Right, because goons. Uh, I
Who's the
actually,
biggest gooner in town?
I'm
He's on the
actually,
lower panel.
yeah, I still don't know what that means, by the way. I was lying. I have seen The Man Called Flintstone, where he's like a private or like a James Bond type of character. So that looks very familiar. I don't remember any of it, but I remember him dressed with that white suit and his TV or watch thing that he had. So yeah, I've seen that. So maybe I'm more of a fan that I remember. That's on VHS, by the way. You should get it.
No, I think I'm okay. You know what? I was looking into getting an animated film. It was not that. It was Daffy Duck's Quackbusters.
Don't know what that is.
Well, back in the 80s and the 70s, they used to compile Looney Tunes cartoons into one long feature film. And Daffy Duck's Quackbusters were a series of animated shorts from the 40s and 50s that had something to do with spooky elements. And they would do a wraparound animation that would tie them all together. And so it was a parody of Ghostbusters, but
Mm,
Daffy Duck was the Egon of it.
that's cool. That's very creative. I wish we still got stuff like that.
It's
Where,
creative, but it's also very cheap.
I mean, now we just get cheap.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. There's no winning there. Um, so there were other television films of the Flintstones, including, as we said before, the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones, 1987, made for television crossover event. You never cross over Scooby Doo. Never helped Scooby Doo solve any mysteries. Yabba Dabba Doo, the 1993 animated made for television film that was apparently tied in with the Pebbles and Bam Bam show.
Mm,
Holly Rock a Bye Baby, also in 1993. So there's a big Flintstones resurgence. I guess they were warming people up for that live action movie that was set to come in 94. And then a Flintstones Christmas Carol in 94, which, as you could probably guess, is a parody of the Dickens tale. And that's it until the Flintstones on the Rocks in 2001. And this is kind of an odd film to have been made and released on Cartoon Network. I think during this time you were getting things like Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, and they
yeah.
were delving into the old properties that nobody seemed to care about and figuring out ways that they could revitalize these characters and make them relevant to the upcoming audience that was tuning into Adult Swim during that time. I don't know if Adult Swim was even a thing at this point because I believe that really went full throttle either in 2000 or in 2001.
But it was called that though. The night, uh, I guess what 3, 4 shows that they would do Space Ghost, Squidbillies. Was that early? No.
Squidbillies
What?
wasn't until after Aqua Teens. I believe it was Space Ghost. That was it before they did anything. Like that would air in the middle of the day. That came before Adult Swim. They would do
Okay.
Space Ghost, Aqua Teens, C Lab,
Let's see. That was great.
home movies.
Oh right, home movies. Home movies is great. Still, what's his name from Metalocalypse is the creator of that, which you've never seen, right?
No, I haven't seen it, and maybe we'll get around to checking it out at a certain point for this retrospective, although Adult Swim is kind of its own thing.
Let's see. Tex Avery show, late night, black and white. Oh, Canada. Oh no, that was shorts. Space Ghost, Sea Lab, Harvey Birdman, Aquating Home Informers, The Bragg Show. That was like the first. lineup, and the Show just came out of Space Ghost Coast to Coast because of that character. Home movies.
Okay, so here's the situation. Adult Swim was not launched until September 2nd, 2001. So that
Mhm.
that was probably after whenever this premiered. Do we have a premiere date for oh, it was no, it wasn't. It was in November, but it was obviously done without Adult Swim probably in mind, and it was directed by David Smith, Chris Savino, but you can clearly see the Gendy Tartakovsky influence all over this thing. In like from the style,
Yeah,
the humor of it, it feels very cousinly to that Dexter's Lab ego trip movie that we watched from 1999. And similarly, there's tons of adult jokes. It's not even really marketed to kids, but I guess the childish nature of it comes out more in how the plot unravels, I
yeah,
guess, but it's all about the marital issues of Fred and Wilma, and then also Barney and Betty to a
yeah.
lesser degree. And I don't know what I was expecting with this movie here. I just remembered it being different. When we talked about it on Civic TV when we were watching clips and they were doing sexist jokes and all that you would never see on Cartoon Network these days. I remember being intrigued by that. And then I sat down and I watched it and I've really thoroughly enjoyed this little film. You seemed less impressed. You seemed like, I'll take it or leave it.
It was fine. I thought it was funny. I again, I wasn't, and this could be because I haven't seen the Flintstones in a long time, so I don't even remember what that humor was like. All I know is that it was based on The Honeymooners, which was a a sitcom in what, the 50s.
Mhm.
Um, so nothing that I saw felt out of place, and I was very surprised at the fact that they're trying to like bury it and not release it when nothing even feels that egregious now, what, 22 years later. um but I enjoyed it. I like the style a lot. It's very cow and chicken ish.
I guess so. I guess it is kind of cow and chicken. They accentuated odd facial features of Fred's, I think, compared to how they usually would handle that character. Um, Mike Lazo had a bit of an influence over it as well, and you can kind of see that with a lot of the humor. I think this was the big turning point though for Cartoon Network as one of these prominent stations, and it was just a building block in forming their identity into something that was geared more towards a mature audience. I don't know how I mean, what do you think of this movie in terms of how it stacks up with things like Dexter's Lab or Powerpuff Girls, and then Adult Swim as its own thing?
It's definitely not as pretty. It's definitely not as visually appealing as those two. um it it could be because the copy that we watched was seemed to have been recorded straight from a shitty TV.
Mhm.
So the quality is not great, but it also doesn't have any of the um, sequences that those two movies have, where they use a lot of shadows and colors and angles, and they get very creative with the way that they shoot action. I don't think they do that in this one, and maybe to keep a little bit of the look that the original Flintstones had when it comes to that. I think that changed. If they made it more like those other two movies, it would have been a too much of a radical change, I think, and then it would not feel like the Flintstones. But
Yeah.
uh, the script was kind of basic too. It was that episode of The Simpsons when Marge goes to bowl, and the guy um that teaches her how to bowl is like making her fall in love with him, or trying to, and then that episode it reminded me of that. But then it's a very simple, straightforward, story. So again, the script leaves a little bit to be desired, I guess. But at the same time, like, how dark can you get, or what much could you do with this property that would not feel out of place, or like a greedy reboot, which no one really wants, I think, for this.
I don't know. I would be up to see the Flintstones utilized in a different manner than what they usually are. I don't know what a I think this is the gritty reboot,
Mm.
honestly. But it seems like they had something in mind that was gonna be similar to where the Flintstones started as opposed to where it ended up as a children's property, where now you have direct-to-video films where they cross over with John Cena and they're in the middle of a
Oh yeah,
WWE Royal Rumble. I don't even know how that would make sense. Maybe
yeah,
he's gotta, he's gotta win back, Wilma's respect, or he's gotta get the belt so he can sell it to pay the bills, or something bad happened. I don't know how that would make sense. But, yeah.
yeah. That's a WWE production. Yeah, WWE Studios. That's such an odd, uh, what do you call it, crossover? Warner Bros. And Bros. And WWE Studios, which ended up, or I thought it just started with horror movies and the Marine series. Remember the Marine? There's like 5 movies, and you
Yeah,
have
they had
the
John Cena for the first one, and then they swapped it over to Mike the Miz
yeah.
because he did not wanna do the sequels. Yeah, they've done a couple of WWE crossovers with Warner Brothers Animation. I know there was a Scooby-Doo one,
Mhm.
Flintstones. I have no idea what the contents of those movies are, and I could care less. They're for very small children.
Leprechaun Origins is theirs.
Leprechaun meets Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Jingle All the
Leprechaun
Way
meets
2 is
Andre the Giant. Jingle All the Way 2 meets Leprechaun.
what the fuck? Surfs Up 2? Surfs Up 2, they did a Wave Mania where there's penguins dressed like the Undertaker, or I guess the Undertaker playing a penguin that kind of looks like a. Yeah, this is weird. It's really weird. It's a really weird crossover. Movie called Killing Hasselhoff with Ken Jeong and David Hasselhoff.
Sounds terrible. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. They Yeah, anyway. So you didn't really like this one, is what I'm getting here. Is you did not like it compared to Ego Trip or the Powerpuff Girls movie, it seems like.
I would say it's third. Yeah.
I would
Like
say
I
it's first of the 3 of them, honestly.
really?
Yeah, I
Mm.
would.
You would watch this again before the other two?
Definitely, no question. I think Dexter's Lab, Ego Trip lagged. I thought
Mm.
the jokes were probably, more surprising and funnier for that one. The Powerpuff Girls movie is fluff, it's cotton candy, it's very easy to get through. It's only like 67 minutes, and it looks good, it
Yeah.
moves nice, the animation is very fluid, it's very solid all around, but I don't know, this one I thought had the most character, and they were using characters that had, existed prior to Cartoon Network. And I think this might be the only film in that category where they're using Hanna-Barbera
Mm.
cartoons as the focus of the film. So I don't know. I thought it was maybe I just haven't watched the Flintstones in a while, and I had
Yeah.
like a nostalgia bug with that nostalgia itch that was scratched.
What's gonna be the the next one?
The next
What
one
do
is
you think we
Ben
should
10 Lost in Time, the movie 2, live
the
action
live
special
action?
from 2000. Steven Universe, the movie.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know. We're gonna bottom out real quick with this series here. I think if we just cover the meat and potatoes of it, if we do Ed, Ed, and Eddie, because people have said Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I've seen a couple of comments that said something like that. We do what was the other one? Johnny Bravo in India.
Yeah.
Then we're good. Because what else do you need?
Is there no
It's
cow and chicken movie?
There's no cow and chicken movie yet, but these are the staple Cartoon Network characters. I think we knock out them from the table, we're good. This one is kind of it's got one foot in that world and one out, But and I think maybe Samurai Jack,
All right.
because I'm interested in seeing that. I can't seem to find the film online anywhere, the premiere movie, as they call it, which was the episodes merged into a film. It ends with a movie that Mumkey Jones covered on his show at a certain point. Teen Titans Go See Space Jam. That is just how egregious the advertising and promotion has gotten these days. Do you think that got factored into the Space Jam marketing budget? The entirety
Probably.
of that film?
That sucks. What is there? Them just doing commentary, right, on it?
I don't know. I have no idea what could be in that movie.
I think he said what it was, and I already forgot. I'm pretty sure Monkey explained what it was, but I don't know. That Samurai Jack, though, it is difficult to find. I just look for it real quick and nope.
No, you got to get a DVD of it, I think, in order to watch it. That's going to be the only real solution. There's tons of Scooby Doo live action movies also from Cartoon Network that were produced. So yeah, I don't think we're going to go down the list. I think we just hit the major characters and we're all set with that.
Yeah. But I don't want to shit on it. I think it's a fun watch. I think again, I haven't seen the original Flintstones in a long time, but it's not it doesn't drag. It's only 60 minutes. It's funny and the animation is it's good enough where it entertains. Not really much of an animated movie or animated series person myself in the past couple of years, but this was just a very easy watch that made me laugh in at times that I wasn't expecting. So it's just because I didn't like as much as the other two doesn't mean that it's bad. It's pretty good. Especially surprised at the fact that they're so ashamed of it that they didn't want to release it or even re-air it. But yeah, it's like a 3 out of 5, I would say.
Yeah, I think I gave it 5 stars on Letterbox. I think having these characters deal with actual adult issues like their failing marriage is just something that I find charming for what that is. And the fact that it didn't overstay its welcome by trying to push it to 90 minutes and just doing it as this obscure 60 something minute long feature film using the Flintstones. And what was the purpose of it? Were they trying to relaunch a new series or something? Like I don't know. We don't know. We know nothing about the origin of this or why they decided to do it. They just could do it and they decided to, hey, we're going to put this thing out, which I respect that. And I like its place in the animated film canon, I guess, for that reason. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's just what you said, a very digestible, quick, easy, fast watch. There's nothing really that deep to delve into with it. The voice actors, I think, are all pretty
Hmm.
serviceable compared to their original counterparts anyway. I didn't notice anyone sounding too different, too off the reservation compared to the typical Flintstones. So that there was no problem there. The designs are obviously a little more crude, and as we talked about earlier, designed to echo the Dexter's Lab late 90s Cartoon Network aesthetics that became very popular through their original programming. But I didn't find that off-putting whatsoever. It kind of complements those characters well.
Yeah. Yeah, and the more adult themes kind of fit that too, that style of animation better than they
Yeah.
would if they kept it more, similar to the old one.
The only thing, it was kind of questionable where this took place in the Flintstones timeline because they don't have their kid
Hmm.
and the Betty and what's her name?
Bam Bam,
No, Betty and
Barney.
Barney.
Yeah.
They didn't have Bam Bam, right? So they're just kind of, I don't know, like a millennial marriage,
Yeah,
very tired of each other and childless.
that's what fixed the marriage, the kid.
Yep. Yes, ultimately, I mean, the real resolve here was Fred had to take credit for a necklace because there was a guy, I guess, who was just very big into cucking and he was trying to kill Wilma also.
To get the necklace, yeah.
I think it was inspired by BTK where he was going to kill her and then put the necklace on her first, then kill her
Hmm.
and then go and wear the necklace and take a photo of himself in it and
And
masturbate to that
finish. Yep.
later.
Hmm.
A release so he could wait 6 months before doing it again.
That's the director's cut of
That's the yes. All right. If you're wondering why this episode is a hell of a lot shorter than any other episode in the movie's canon,
because
it's
what else
because
are we
we,
gonna say?
yeah, yeah. First of all, it's a 60-minute cartoon movie on archive.org. That's the only place to watch it. And I think it was 60 minutes with, no, it wasn't with commercials, but
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't
yeah.
get that version, but yeah, because that was my favorite part about the Dexter movie, the commercials.
Hmm. That's not good. That's not a compliment. Well, it's because we also did over an hour talking about the upcoming films The Palace and Coupe de Chance and Exorcist Believer. right before recording this. How about that? And you can exclusively get that full episode in the $5 tier on patreon.com/lowres right now. All right, we're going to pick this up again with maybe another Cartoon Network. Maybe we'll just finish it. We'll get Johnny Bravo. We'll get Ed, Ed, and Eddie. We'll handle those as a double feature, and then it's a trilogy of episodes here. How about that? Sound good?
Yeah, that's better than stretching it more. And also
Okay.
because I don't know if there's going to be enough to talk about in those movies.
No, I think handling it 2 movies at a time
Yeah.
is definitely the right approach here because they're not that deep. Okay, that has been movies for this week. Go over to patreon.com/lowres, $5 tier. Once again, follow Hans on Twitter at hwordname, myself on Twitter at lowreswb. I'm trying to get that monetization ability on Twitter. I got the 2 other criterias met. I just got to get 5 million impressions in 3 months, I think it is.
Wow.
Which is
Okay.
not that I actually don't think it's that difficult as long as you have a healthy following. I'll give you an example. I posted a clip from Siskel and Ebert today where they were talking about political correctness, and they were very worried about political, which is rich because if you know anything about Ebert and his whole tirade against slasher films, and he thought Blue Velvet was this big misogynist piece where David Lynch was humiliating Isabella Rossellini. I guess that all just exists in a bubble for Ebert. He's not thinking about the greater context of others complaining about the same thing because it's his opinion. And maybe that is how you should probably look at it.
No, he was too
But
busy thinking about his jaw falling off.
well, this is fat Ebert here. This is Ebert of the past, healthy as the day is long, and he's just getting upset because it's the 1990s, and suddenly something has changed. The college students are now gearing their essays to be more politically correct. How they are shaping their criticism is more politically correct. And Siskel doesn't like it either. He's the one who introduces the topic into the conversation, but yeah. So I'll give you an example here to what I was saying before. This one clip got, let's find out the analytics on it. It has 10,000 impressions. Okay.
Some
5
more.
million.
Yeah.
If you have something like 20,000 followers, you can probably do that easy peasy.
So go follow so that he can get that.
So I could get a good
So
$60 check in the mail from Elon Musk.
yeah.
That's what's important. You know what I'm thinking about doing also, because some people have asked over on the Discord, is setting up a PayPal or something for donations because people want to contribute directly to the show. They don't know how to do it. They are already on the Patreon, but they want to give more, which is appreciated. And we certainly need it. Hans certainly needs it. So
Yeah.
anything you give, he's getting 50% of. I will set that up in the next couple of episodes and put that into the description so we can get a little bit more because we're greedy. What are you going to spend it on, Hans? Someone sends us a $50 donation. What are you spending your 25 buckaroos on?
Ubers probably. That's fancy. Yeah. Uber so I can go buy food. How's that?
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's admirable that you would take an Uber to go buy the food and not just use Uber Eats and have someone bring you the food. I think there's something noble about that.
Yeah.
So that's very good.
Yeah.
That's
I
very
like
good.
I like to cook. I don't like eating out because my stomach is very sensitive.
Well, you don't have to eat out. You can have someone grocery shop for you.
What am I, white? Yeah.
That's Instacart is a thing. Maybe not in Costa Rica, I guess,
Mm.
but it's definitely a thing. It doesn't always go right. I remember something happened one time. I feel like GMAC needed like mayonnaise or something, and the mayonnaise that the Instacart shopper brought had been opened. There was like a scoop missing or
By
something. Maybe they
him.
got hungry on the way over
He
this
took a,
place. It was
took
something like that.
a zip of mayo. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just put a straw in the mayo. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. That's been movies for this week. Thank you for listening.